Hi everyone, welcome back to Alice Loves. Today is the final sort of instalment of my mini brush series that I did. So the first one was on how to clean your brushes and showing you the products I use and how to do it. The second one was on my favourite face brushes, and today is on my favourite brushes for the eyes. So I will keep it nice and quick for you, but I'll just quickly run through some of my favourites. So I've got here two concealer brushes, which I suppose fall under face and kind of eyes because it's under your eyes, but I keep them in the eye pot. Firstly, I'm sorry that they're grubby. I do wash them regularly. I only washed them a couple of days ago, but obviously as soon as you use them they get dirty, and I've used them this morning and haven't had a chance to wash them. So these are my two favourite concealer brushes. This is the Real Techniques Expert Setting Brush, or it might just be called Setting Brush. And I just think this is such a perfect size for, I've got a couple of them, so I really enjoy blending my concealer out with this and down the face and round the nose, but I also really enjoy using this for actually setting the powder under my eye, so that I don't get any creasing of my concealer. So that's what I use this for. It's not expensive, it's about $7.99, so I love that one. This is the Zoeva Concealer Buffer. And I use it very similar, so you can see I've used a real sort of orange colour corrector last time I used that. So again, under the eye, buffing out when there's quite a lot of excess product. So really enjoy the two of those, and I'll sort of mix it up, and as I say, I've got a couple of these, some for more my concealer products and some for powder. You can actually also use this really nicely for highlighter, that's why I've got a couple of them. It's got a lot of uses, but I use it always for under the eye on the whole. Then I've got this brush here, which is, I suppose, again technically eye, but this is brows, and this is actually called a wing liner brush. It's the 317 from Zoeva, and this is the rose gold collection. This is grubby, but this is the only brush I now use for my brows. I use it every day. So it's just obviously a diagonal sharp, fairly thin brush, and for this I use my brow pomade. And you will have seen on my tutorials that I use this, and I fill my brows in with it, map out the shape and draw the little brush strokes in. And I've got a couple that are similar, but this is the only one that I reach for. And this is part of the same set as this Zoeva concealer buffer brush. And I've got a few more down here, and I really like the set, and it is really good value when you work out the brush, how many brushes you get. I would really recommend that set as a whole, so I love that. Then I'll carry on with a few of the same range, the Zoeva Rose Gold. So I've got three here. We've got the 230 Luxe pencil brush, which, let me see whether you can see that little head there. I really like this mainly for my inner corner highlight, but I also do really enjoy smoking under the eye with the colour with this. So again, this is a brush I reach for daily. It's definitely my favourite little pencil brush. I love the rose gold. It hasn't washed amazingly well. There is some tarnishing because it's rose gold, but obviously it's a fairly budget brand, so it hasn't lasted the best, but they have been washed a lot of times. So, you know, they've done well, but you know, they're due to be replaced really. So that's the pencil brush. Then I've also got, and you can see I've used these both today as well, the Luxe Smokey shader. This is the 234, and this is just a flat brush that I use to really pack on shadow on the eyelid. And I do also sometimes with a little flat end smoke out under the eye if I'm just being quick and I've used it and I want to blend it out. But on the whole, for packing colour on the lid, really good for, like, you know, the little MAC pigment pops or anything similar to that. I really always go in with those, pack the colour on, and you can really dab it on. I do have a few other ones that are similar, like a MAC one that I use a lot, but I would say this is just as good. It washes better than the MAC one. The MAC one's gone a bit green. This washes well, and as I say, it's part of that set, so it works out good value. So that's the 234 Luxe Smoky Shader. And then this is the 227 Luxe Soft Definer, and it's just a fluffy brush that I use for blending. Now this one I will normally use for my final blend of my blend, if that makes sense. So this brush here I love. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Brush in number 17, and it's just a big fluffy brush, and you can see the difference. It's not massive, but it's more tapered and it is a little bit longer. That's just generally a bit boxier. So this one I would go in with my I can't even think what I'm trying to say, the colour that I would put on my bone. What am I even trying to say? the colour for the definition, it's gone straight out of my head, but the colour that I would use to define sort of my brow bone and create that shadow, I would use this brush to apply, but then I would go in with this brush to just blend that out even further. So although they are both blending and both for blending colours, I would initially apply and smoke out with this, but then go in further, blend the edges out with this. So this is the number 17 NYX Professional, and this is the 227 Luxe Soft Definer from Zoeva. Then I have got two Nars brushes. These are the old style brushes. They've got new brushes out now. I'm sure they will do a similar alternative, but this brush I've mentioned before, I think in my Nars video, the number 14, is my probably most ever used eyeshadow brush. I've got quite little lids, and for me, if you look at the difference here, I suppose it's bang in the middle. It's bigger than the pencil brush, but it's significantly smaller than something like this. So it's perfect for getting a nice wash of colour when you don't want to pack it on with something like that flat one, but not being so fluffy that it sprays everywhere like this one. So this is my most used for just applying colour, wash of colour to the lid, rather than the socket colour, which was the phrase I was looking for a minute ago, the socket colour. So yeah, I love that, and I'm sure they'll do a very similar alternative. In fact, they've just brought out a gorgeous version of this in a limited edition Charlotte Gainsborough collection with Nars, but you have to buy the whole set and it's like £150, but love that. Then the other brush from Nars that I love is for, I mainly use to create like a smoky line across the top of the lashes. So I will spray this with something like a MAC Fix Plus, get the shadow on it, and then I will draw it along the eye to create an eyeliner look, but that's just a bit more smudged out, not so smooth and perfect like a liquid liner. And that's the number 2. Again, this is the old style, but I'm sure they will still do something very similar. And then lastly is a brush from Royal and Langnickel, and it's from one of their sets that they do, and this is called the Crease and Smudge. So this again is a very similar length head to the NYX one. It's just a little bit thicker. So I really use this and enjoy using it for blending. And then it's got that smudger, so similar to the one I've just shown you, but it's a lot thicker and rounder. So this you get a much sharper line, and this is much more sort of smudged out. You can under the eye, you can really blend with it across the lid. So I really like that. They wash so well. They've got a lovely rubber grip. They're really good value. I think the set that this is in is only something like maybe £24 for like quite a lot of brushes. There's like a blusher brush, like a duo fibre brush, a couple of eyeshadow brushes. It is really good value, and that is a really beautiful blending brush as well. And that there, guys, is my sort of favourite selection of eyeshadow brushes. Thanks for tuning in. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and as always, subscribe down below if you'd want to be notified when I've got more videos. Thanks guys, see you next time, bye!